a little glitch there. I don't know if I was sitting there saying hello to a screen or what. Hello, drop a hello, a hi, a comment in the chat. We're going to give it a minute. This is an impromptu live for creators on the Crest. Welcome, welcome. And I've got a special guest I'm bringing on today to co-stream with me, my partner and love, Jason Werline. He has his own YouTube channel on here, so it's going to be a ton of fun to invite him on. So let me make sure I can see the live chat. This is part of what happens here. Oh, there it comes. There it comes. Jason's here. Hello, hello. Thanks for coming on, babe, and talking about this topic. I think it's something that definitely YouTubers that are coupled up in relationships can talk about, and it's going to be interesting for us to do this ourselves because we've been going through so many different experiences, both individually and together when it comes to YouTube. So I'm really excited to have this chat with you. Now, let me see if I can add you here. So get ready, babe. I'm going to send you the link and bring you on. Anybody else who's joined, feel free to say hello or drop an emoji. Let us know you're here. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to send this link to you, Jason. 1 second. Okay. You should have the link, babe, in your messages now. Yay, there you are. Woohoo!
It works.
It works.
We're live.
We're live. Co-streaming live.
Look great,
Yay.
babe.
Oh, there's Blaze.
He came down and he wanted to hang out, so.
Yeah, there's Blaze. Hi, Kimberly. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I saw you text me. I'll send you a text after this. And there's Blazer. Hello, baby. Can you hear Mama? Can you hear me?
He knows that you're in the zone when you're creating, when you're in your room and you're, when you're in the studio in there, he knows. He's like, okay, she's doing her thing. I'm going to go see what Dad's doing.
Yeah, I had to shut him out of here because he was at the window getting really like barky and, he was little man, big attitude with whatever's going on outside. So he was like totally barking the whole time. Welcome, everyone. Hello. I see some people joining. Hello, hello. Thank you for your likes and dropping by, and feel free to say hi in the chat. Jason and I are going to.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, sorry. It's easy to talk over each other, I've learned. So hi, Lindsay. True. We're kind of testing this co-stream feature. It's like something I agreed to test for YouTube. And I think you'll be seeing a lot more of this. Michael's here. Hello, Michael. Welcome.
Hey, Michael.
Milan. Ooh, I like that name. Cool. Hello, hello. Welcome. Are any of you all YouTubers, or have you dabbled in being a YouTuber? I'm curious. I want to know. Any of you YouTubers, or maybe you go live on other platforms, perhaps? All right. Well, today we kind of want to get started, maybe tell you just a little bit about ourselves and also get into some questions about what it's like, 1, to be a YouTuber, 2, to have multiple people in a household being a YouTuber, and some of the challenges that we face with timing and space and all of that kind of thing. And we thought this would be relatable. So, yes. All right. So we have a YouTuber here. And hello, hello. All right. So here we go. What's it really like to build a YouTube channel? So for me, all right, Jason has a little bit more experience. He is an OG YouTuber as well. So he comes with information about how it used to be and all the ways it's changed to today, to what it is today. So that is something that he will have some input on. But for me, I started seriously with my YouTube channel last year, at the beginning of last year, 2024, and I began making intuitive content, tarot content, which is what I do. I'm an intuitive healer and I read tarot, I read energies. And so, yeah, I got started. I was terrified at first. You can ask any of my close friends or Jason to like get on video. And I did a lot of little practice runs, little shorts and things, just in my car and whatever, just trying to get used to being on video, talking on video. What was it like? Just building up my own confidence. So that was a big thing for me, is building up my confidence. You can probably hear kids in the background. We got a lot of playing going on outside with our neighbors, but that's one of the things we deal with, outdoor sounds. So I'll talk about that later. But yeah, I it took me a minute to get warmed up to it, but I did, and I just got going. And I think for some people it is important to just get started, just get going, just practice being on video. I would never discourage anyone from waiting to do that if they're feeling like that's kind of the hurdle they need to overcome. Was I doing all the SEO and having all the keywords and having all my tags and all the things that help you on YouTube at that time? No, I didn't know what I was doing. I'm not very much of an analyst kind of an individual. But as Jason has helped teach me, the actual analytics of YouTube are important. So it is definitely something where you have to find a balance between looking at your analytics, but also not making yourself crazy with it. So now I'm rolling and I have a program and I have a calendar, and I'm going to bring you with me while I close the window. Because sometimes you have to take a minute and close the window because there's just a lot of noise.
I got lucky. I'm in a quieter spot down here.
Yeah. So yeah, you're like underground a little bit there. So so yeah, my story is kind of, I had to build confidence. I had to get myself geared up to actually be on video. And that was kind of my setback at first because I wasn't super comfortable. But the more you do, the more comfortable you get. And once you kind of get in your groove, it's really great. So I want to ask you, Jason, because you kind of started off way back when, and the YouTube of that you were then and what you are now is different. So can you just kind of start us there and then bring us forward to where you're at now?
Yeah, YouTube. It used to be like the other social media networks where you could just post. It did not. It was not like filling out all these forms when you posted a video. It was just. It was a little bit more user friendly. I'll say back then, to be successful, you didn't have to do as much. Now you really have to, when you upload a video, going in, you want to be yourself, but you also want to add value somehow to the video. So just learning how to create successful content is it's an ongoing process. So back then it was not as important because there wasn't as many people on the platform. You would have a lot better chance of being successful back then. A lot of people, from if you'll look at some of the old YouTubers from 2006, 2000 to 2010, right now, those YouTubers, they are likely have thousands upon thousands of subscribers, if not millions of subscribers. So it's important nowadays. If you're starting as a new YouTuber, I would probably try to just do some research on SEO, search engine optimization. What is going to help your video stand out from other people? Come up with your own ideas and be as creative as you can, but also you can use other people and use your tools that you have available to you to bounce ideas off of that. I'm sorry, I'm just going to kind of rambling at this point, but
Yeah.
oh, off grid. Yeah, off grid.
Yeah, I'm
Thanks,
so
off grid.
glad that happened. So let me tell you all, like, I want you to bring us more up to speed on like what you're talking about, because you have been the one that's got me more comfortable with the analytics and like what they can tell me about what I'm doing. But it's kind of funny that that happened. So a lot of you might have anxiety because you're going to go live and then people show up in the chat and then trolls show up in the chat and you're like, what do I do? Fortunately, you can remove them from your channel. So at some point in time in your YouTube career, in your Instagram career, in your Facebook career, wherever you are, on doing your thing, somebody is going to come on and troll. And you just have to learn to kind of let it go. Once you have people that really appreciate your content and show up, you'll see that they will not really allow that in the chat either. But you can absolutely hide people from your channel when they're just in there trying to sow what's the word? I want to say detention, dissension. There you go, dissension and dividing and just saying something triggering and just not. That's not what this is about, right? So you will have to deal
Yeah.
with that. And, you'll have to deal with comments that come up where people may misunderstand you or not understand what you're doing, or they just have different beliefs and they feel like they need to make their opinions known.
Like,
So,
just think of it, it's engagement. So when someone comments, that's an engaging
yeah,
metric that YouTube does count. So it doesn't matter what the comment is. I mean, keep
yeah,
commenting, keep saying bad things. It's fine. I mean, as long as you just get over it.
yeah,
I've seen just about everything on the platform, so I've watched it evolve into this giant. To me, I feel like this is the place to be if you want to be yourself, if you want to be creative. There's so many different things you can do. They've added podcasts, which I haven't even been able to scratch the surface of yet. Um, you can
that's
post. I
correct.
have a whole video about posting. If you just want to post memes, if you just want to post and say, "Hey," you can do that, and YouTube will actually give you impressions on those posts, strangers. So it's just a totally different. I've always been a YouTuber, really at heart, but I finally came back out with the help of your motivation and just everybody else on the block. I don't know. I feel like there's just a lot of good energy going on right now on YouTube compared to like the overall world view. It's not, you could still find positivity and good things and creativity, and there's good things in the world. And that's kind of what my channel, I've been trying to niche down a little bit, but I'm exploring different niches that are comfortable to me, that I have fun making the videos. Right now I'm doing like more educational geared content to try to help, just maybe help people have fun. If they
Mhm.
could even get bored and watch my video and be like, oh, I'm just have something to do. They just have nothing to do. But trying to add value to each video, no matter what it is. And then also, like I was saying in one of my videos, making sure that, like, well, you don't have to make sure, but thinking about it this way, that somebody could see your video in 10 years, somebody could see your video in 5 years. And just thinking about that, getting views in 5 to 10 years, is your video something that somebody would want to click on forever? Right.
Yeah,
I know that sounds a little deep,
yeah.
but
Well, I wanna get
go on. Yeah,
into
sorry.
first. Let's get in because I want to go there on what that is that you're talking about. As for helping people find your content later and have it being something that's more established long term, right? Because a lot of us do timeless content. Some of us, like my channel, when I do tarot readings, if I do
Hmm.
May monthly reading for 2025, that's for that period of time, but there are
Right.
readings I do that are timeless, and I certainly want people to be able to find them. So we will get there, but I wanted to go first with because you're kind of like talking about something that we're different on. Okay. So one of the
Right.
points that is different for us is to niche or to not niche. Now, I have a niche and, I'm like, okay, I'm in my niche and it does help me to focus down on something that I can really put my effort and energy into, even though I have multiple interests and I can express my gifts, talents, and abilities in different ways, right? And this is where I think a lot of people in my kind of niches in energy work, energy healing, spiritual entrepreneurs, tarot readers, Akashic records, the doing all that kind of stuff, it can be hard to take the energy that you're working with, which is the soul and evolution and all this big stuff, and actually package it in a way that people can understand and in a way that you can focus your energy and give the best of your best. There's also the train of thought, though, and you ask different entrepreneurs and they'll tell you different things. You ask different business owners, they'll tell you different things. There's also the idea that No niche, no problem. And I think recently, Jason, you did a video, no niche, no problem.
Absolutely.
And
Yep.
tell me about that because I have a niche. Tell me about going into this with no niche and just doing it.
Well, like you were saying at the beginning of the video, first you have to be comfortable just being on video. So that's important. Even if it takes you just creating some content to just get to practice. And that's really what I started out doing. Is when I first started consistently making videos, I was just basically getting comfortable. That's really it. I wasn't even worried about, I mean, I was still using a little bit of SEO, but I wasn't worried as much about the thumbnails, about the stuff as I am now. Now I'm thinking, okay, I'm comfortable. Now let's move to the next chapter, right? So, um, and I'm sorry, what was that last part of your question, hon?
So, what is it like having no niche? Like,
Oh,
how?
no niche. I'm sorry. Yeah, no niche, no problem. So it's because I have a lot of different things I'm interested in, and everybody does, right? Like everybody has several things that they probably enjoy doing. You know, I guess some people only like doing one thing. It's possible, but
Mhm.
a majority of people do like several things. And I mean, I'm one of those people. So it's hard for me to just make a channel and focus on one thing. So what I've done is I'm trying to niche down a little bit by making playlists. So that way, if someone does find my video and it's relatable and they're like, well, I want to see if he has another video like this because I don't have a quote unquote niche 100%. I have a playlist ready, so there is a couple videos that are similar to what they're looking for. So I'm working on that right now. I have a couple different angles I'm doing. I'm doing like the AI learning and telling people how to use AI and how to use ChatGPT as tools on their YouTube and actually to create content, make their content more successful. The titles, the thumbnails, the descriptions, the keywords. It's like so much, right? Like I can understand why people are intimidated by it because when you go to upload a video, you're presented with a whole form. So if you don't know your niche, I can see how that would be extremely difficult. I've just kind of navigated the best I could through it. And I've kind of used the no niche as a niche in itself. I know that sounds kind of weird, but having no niche has kind of given me content. It's given me ideas to find where I need to be 100%.
Yeah.
But I will eventually get there. I think right now I'm just, like I said, leaning on educational content, trying to have fun, make sure I'm having fun when I create a video, make sure it's informative, make sure it's educational if possible, throw a little bit of education, a little bit of fun, and just positivity, staying motivational.
Yeah.
And then finding time, I think, is you're going to probably go into the next topic, but the hardest part is finding time to sit down and make a video that you like, then
Right.
putting that video in editing software. I get it. People don't edit. There are
Mhm.
people out there that don't edit their videos at all. They record, then they stop it, and then they upload, and that's completely fine. You're eventually not. I mean, you're eventually probably going to want to edit your videos eventually, but you could start out just not editing.
Mhm.
But
Yeah. It's a lot of
just
work.
it is.
Editing
It's a lot more work than you think. I
the
mean, it really is.
bane of my existence, honestly. And I mean, some people are in a position to hire, but we're new YouTubers. We're not having, putting funds into hiring somebody just to edit. I do think it's a good idea if you have the money to be able to pay someone and you find someone that you trust and you can hire to do that. Editing takes a lot of time.
And we
And
do it all ourselves, right?
yeah,
We're one. I'm a one man channel, and she's a one woman channel. So doing everything yourself, it can be done. I mean, we're showing it can be done, but just no, it is work. Even if you're doing one video a week, I would say you're still, depending on how picky you are. I'm really picky
yeah,
about my stuff. I'm really like, I want it to be as nice as possible. I want to keep getting better.
he
Right.
is.
So anyway, sorry. Go on.
Well, no, I was thinking though, I think we went over pretty well like the pros and cons of to niche or not to niche. I think what I would recommend everybody is just to not limit yourself and not prevent yourself from moving forward even if one of these things isn't in place because sometimes you just need to get your feet wet and sometimes the
Yeah,
path will be revealed to you as you take those steps. So
right.
whether you have a niche or you don't, you can always pivot, you can always course correct, you can always adapt to where you want to go in the future. and yeah, maybe it'll take you a little longer, but who cares? You also have to consider what your goals are. Is monetization your goal? Are you just trying to have fun? Are you just trying to, a lot of times when we're speaking our healing process to others, it's very cathartic for us. But then other people find that very authentic and very relatable, and it can be an absolute win win. And maybe that's what fuels your heart and your motivation to do it. Maybe a combination of the above. You have these gifts and talents and these services to give, and you want to reach more people, right? So it just depends what your goals are as well, and how specific they are as to what you put into this. So I want to go into, because you kind of got me warmed up to Chat GPT. At first I was like, hell no. Sorry, I probably shouldn't curse, but heck no, this is not made for children. I haven't such. Heck no. I'm not doing any of that, and I since have warmed up to Chat GPT because it does assist with time savings, and it really is kind of like your very own library of tracking the work you're doing, and it has tremendously helped me with search engine optimization and LSI, which you mentioned earlier. So can you talk a little bit about that, and why you're a proponent of ChatGPT and using the tools that it has to offer?
Well, I think it goes back to the beginning of the internet. Honestly, when people first got on Google and they were googling things, right?
Mm.
So your video that your content that you're creating could one day be on that Google search when somebody's searching. I mean, you can go to Google right now and search something. YouTube videos are going to come up. So LSI is going to basically rank your video historically in the Google search history. So if you can get something out there that the algorithm relates to, that people relate to, that I mean, that your goal is to ultimately, like I said, people are googling things forever, right? Until we're, I mean, I'm just saying, it's just a nonstop. People are just constantly searching and googling,
Mhm,
and that's the thing. You just, if you create content that's valuable and that goes on those rankings historically,
mhm.
your video is literally going to be. I'm just saying, it's anybody can do it, really. I mean, everybody has their own unique take on things and their own perspective and the way they present information.
Mhm.
So you may be able to rank with Google, but this other person can't. Just depending on, you may have presented the same information, but because of the algorithms, they liked yours better. You presented it better. You were a better video, so
Yes.
Google is going to give
Yes.
you the search results. So when somebody searches that, they're going to go to your video. They're going to go to your content, not the other person that was presenting the same information. They were presenting the same thing. So like I was talking about, I think in one of your videos or something, or maybe my live, I would love one of these days somebody's searching tarot and creators on the crest just pops up. I don't know if maybe it does already. I don't know. Maybe it does if they search certain things or certain. You just never know. But that LSI, that it's what is it? Latent semantic indexing.
Yes.
I just learned about that through ChatGPT, through just the SEO research and stuff like that. And it's really, if you think of it as in the big picture, it's like it's just such an opportunity for people, and that's why I'm so glad I'm back on the platform. Because if I would have still had my YouTube channel from back when, who knows what would have happened? And I would definitely stay away from some things. To stay away from is
Please.
any type of reused content. Anything that's already been uploaded to the internet, I would probably not upload it. Because I've seen people try to upload content that's already been on the internet and it doesn't do well because the algorithm's already seen that. Google's already aware of that content out there.
We
For
even
people that are repurposing that content, it can work if you're, I
Yeah.
guess, analyzing it and you have a little screenshot of something and then you're talking about it or you have some commentary about it, but just re-uploading content, it just doesn't work. You're not going to be able to grow I mean, they're building the algorithms now to where it's going to kind of ignore that content.
You also have to you run the risk of being demonetized once you
Yeah,
get
right.
to a certain level, right? Didn't we see that happen to someone like another YouTuber because they were building their channel off kind of the repurposed content, and that's probably a pretty fast way to get you demonetized. Also, you want to respect like the copyright. I don't know if you're going to bring this up, but like copyrighted music, especially, you have to be careful.
Right.
YouTube's very picky, so I don't know if you were going to mention that.
No, it is. It's like at this point, I almost every video I upload, I don't even want to put music on it because I'm like, I don't want them to knock on my door and say, "Hey, what are you doing over here?" Well, I'm just it's my content, right? So they're very picky about the music, even if it says royalty free.
Mhm.
I don't believe it. It's hard for me to believe them because I've used quote unquote royalty free music, and it was like, hey, that is somebody's music. So I'm just I was at the point, like I said in one of my videos, I want to make my own music at this point. I think we need to make our
Yeah,
own little
I think
jingles,
so. I
you
think
know?
so. Yeah, because I come from an industry where we like to use music and meditative music, and there's been so many times like I've wanted to start off a live or something just with music playing in the background and just saying, "Hey, guys and
I
gals,"
would
like
I
just,
would love to share the stuff that it would be so awesome to be able to share music that you found. Like this week, check out these songs I listened to this week, and you can't do that. It's sad, but we'll
I
see.
know. Yeah, and I think there's lots of social media engines out there that do have warnings about that. So you do have to be careful. I think your best bet is your authentic, original self, and just be you and just talk about what matters to you and what your experience is and share that, and not worry too much about all the bells and whistles.
Mhm.
You're going to be able to upgrade your camera. You're going to be able to I mean, I have a nice camera here, but what YouTube loves right now is these vertical lives on your phone. So you're like, well, now I need a new phone. There's always going to be more people, or I'm sorry, more that you want for your YouTube channel. There's going to be somebody has the newest camera and you want to get that, or there better lighting or better background, or something like that. There's always going to be more for you to work toward.
Mhm.
So I think, we just have to take our time to just be ourselves first and foremost, and know that we will make improvements as we go. And any YouTuber who's been in it for the long term, you can go and sort their oldest to their oldest content. You can see oldest to newest, and you will see how they too have grown. Nicole says some people do share music on reactions, but I think they have to do it a certain way and have commentary. Probably. There's probably something specific there. So if you have example of that, Nicole, since you and I know that, you and I are connected, you can give me an example of that maybe next time you see it. So I want to say, even just before the live, we were kind of running around trying to coordinate this. So talk to me about like what you feel like when, we're trying to find a space, we're trying to find the zone, living together in one house, having our own recording areas.
It's a struggle. I kind of have it like we were talking last night. I think the best possible strategy you can have is to make multiple videos,
Hmm.
make multiple. That way, you have a little stash of videos that you can put out during the week because I wake up in the morning, I want to make a video and I want to upload that video that day. And it's like, that's just not a realistic long term situation. I mean, it might work like it's worked for me for like the last month, right? These 25, 30 videos I've pumped out, it's worked for me, but it's not going to work
Yeah.
forever. I have to get on a schedule. I have to, and yeah, you're up there, I'm down here. It's not always, we're just
Hmm.
happen to be in this situation because with our arrangement right now with your kids not being here. So you
Hmm.
just never know from day to day
Yeah.
how things are going to change. Right now, I've kind of got a little hub down here with my son's area. I've kind of stolen a
Hmm.
little portion of his area to make content. I do my lives outside, which I love
Hmm.
doing. I'd love to do more content outside.
Yeah.
The weather hasn't been as cooperative as I'd like it to have been recently, but um, and then you have your little studio in there in our room. So
Yeah.
I would love to see. We're gonna expand. We've talked about it. Like
Yeah.
we want to get more space. We want to maybe customize your space more and maybe get more of a space for me, or maybe even have a room where we can both be in the same room. Possibly that'd be kind of cool. But I
Yeah.
think that is a really hard thing is just having the space to make content. And you can be anywhere. A really popular thing now is making content in your car. I've seen so many
Yeah.
people making content in their car. So
Yeah.
now I'm like, well, first of all, I need to detail my car and get it really clean if I'm going to start making all these videos in my car, right? Because my car is like, it could use, I need to clean it. It's on my list. But I see a lot of people, they're successful with that. They
Yeah.
just speak their mind, or they'll even have graphics. They'll make a video in their car, but then they'll edit it so it'll have graphics and it'll be changing. Like it'll be just like an interactive video in their car.
Yeah.
So I guess if you are running short on space or you don't know where to make a video, just if you have a car, if you don't have a car, and you
Hmm.
don't have a way indoors to make a video, maybe just take a walk. If
To
you
the
can, take a
park,
walk outside, and
quiet.
people love that content as well. Like if you're outside and there's trees behind you, a little setting like that, people love that. So yeah, if you don't have space, you just kind of have to think outside of where you normally would. Like I used to be like, oh, I need space to make a video. I used to actually think like that. It's weird. Like I used to actually think, oh, I don't have the space to make a video. But now I just make the space, like by just doing other things, going outside, taking Blaze for a walk, and I'll make a video. I'll sit in my car and make a video. So you just have to
Roll with
make space. So
roll with it. Yeah. Definitely brings up a lot of points, the space you have. I would just encourage people, don't let it stop you, because if you get into your mind and you overthink, oh, first I need to clean my car. Well, first of all, you can angle the camera. If your back seat's got trash in it, you can angle the camera.
true.
And but also it's real life. You can just make it a part of it. I mean, I did my Frequency Friday live outdoors this last week, and they were grinding on the sewer pipes out front, lawn mowers in the back, birds tweeting everywhere, and me trying to hear myself think. And it was just like, I just had to blend it in because I wasn't going to move my whole setup back inside and everything. And I think it is something
Oh,
people
I'm
can,
not telling you to clean your car. I'm just saying, me personally, I get kind of anal about it. So I'm
yeah,
like, does
yes.
this look bad? Does this look bad? I know everybody's not like
And I'm
that. Who
over here
cares?
going,
Just let it go.
babe, don't worry about it. Don't worry about
Right.
it. But I,
Overthinking. Don't overthink.
yes, I can relate too. Yes. Yeah, Nicole says she's talking about copyright. Yeah, there are like royalty, what's it called? Royalty free, or,
Yeah.
stuff that's for free use. You can definitely find music out there. I think that's just going to take me a little more time than I want to take. YouTube has its own library when you're doing your shorts and things like that. I don't know about long form. I've never tested, but they have a lot of short, like, and I'm talking a minute and less music clips that it's approved by YouTube or approved by the artist for use on YouTube. Agreements are there, and so you can kind of use their library, which is helpful. So like on shorts you can still add background music. I say make sure you have the right volume on that, and maybe pop in some ear pods, because sometimes it's hard to really hear what it might sound like to somebody else, because you got to remember people are watching on phones and mobiles is a big one, and then laptops and what do I want to call it? It's like iPads and tablets, so it's going to sound and be a little different depending on people's speakers. Okay, so babe, how do
And
you
I agree, Nicole. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
no,
sound
go
like
ahead.
what do you, I don't want to sound like a prude. What is it? The word for it? I don't care. I know people don't care. I'm not saying if your car's not perfect, I'm not going to judge you. Trust me, it's fine. I'm just saying, like me personally, when I shoot a video, I know nobody else cares, but it's just me. I care.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
totally get it.
And I think that's the point that I'm trying to make as well. It's really not letting yourself be blocked by that, because I think
Right.
I was slow to get started because I was constantly questioning. And I literally talked to a woman and she's like, "You know what I do?" And she has like 20,000 plus followers on YouTube. I turn my phone landscape and I hit record, and I'm like, why am I not doing that? Like, it was such I thought it was the biggest deal, and in my head, I had it made up to be this big deal, and everything needed to be perfect. And you will get over that when you do enough of it, and you'll be like, okay. But yes, at the same time, I think if you're serious about what you're doing, you want to be professional and you want it to look good and sound good to people, right? So I completely understand that as well. I think my point is just don't let it paralyze you from moving forward. So yeah,
Right.
no judgment.
No judgment
So
for sure.
I wanted to ask you too. I think we've talked a lot about the tips and the algorithms and the chat GPT and balancing your work, we have kids around in and out, we have lots going on, right?
Mhm.
How do you stay creative when the grind gets real?
Well, that's funny. I, luckily, we have tools. I use tools when I can't come up with ideas, or when if I
Mhm,
have an idea and I need to expand on it. I'm going to be honest. I use AI. I use what we have available to us.
mhm.
So if it's a grindy day, like if I have a lot scheduled as far as that goes, I will just hold off on making a video. Because I mean, for example, yesterday I wanted to make a video, but I didn't get to it, and I was almost at the point last night. I was like, should I go ahead and do it? Like it was what 10 o'clock, and I was like, no, I'm not going to make a video. So you just have to know when to tell yourself no.
Mhm, mhm,
I think so. If you're grinding and you've worked all day, or you have a million other things
mhm,
to do,
mhm.
you just have to really just tell yourself no. I know
Yeah.
you're gonna want to, trust me, because I'm like, I gotta make a video. I want to make a video. You never know,
He's
because somebody could
not
click.
telling you. What he's not telling you is that we were probably sitting on the couch for about an hour as he's going back and forth, talking himself out of pressuring himself to go make a video. And that's where it's like, I think it's like the complement of the masculine and feminine. The masculine energies want to go do it and like, yeah, like now I got to ask Chat GPT for the next thing, and like I got to keep the momentum. And I get it because YouTube is a beast and it wants to be fed, right? But then the feminine energies come in and say, "Hey, you still have a life. You're allowed to kick back and enjoy yourself. The algorithms can wait until tomorrow. You can feed it inventory later." And so it really is about working out what the best balance is for you. And I think it starts, if you're just starting out, be realistic, because I know if you're anything
Right,
like me, you overestimate what you can do in a day because you
right.
get excited and you're like, I'm going to do this. And then, like, you're into the one thing and you've got like four things on your list, and you're like, this one thing's going to take me the whole day, So you can tend to do that sometimes, and it's being realistic. So, if you're starting out and you're like, I have a busy life and there's kids and there's these other things I have going on, maybe once a week is your pace. Maybe once a week, one long form video, one short is your pace to start.
Yeah, yeah. Do not try what did. I wouldn't suggest it. The only reason I did it is because I was confident, and I knew what I was getting myself into. Like otherwise, you're gonna burn out probably. Um,
Yeah, you did
just
a
be careful.
30-day challenge for yourself, right?
Well, I haven't. I don't know. I have to go back and count, but I think we've completed it with the lives. Counting the lives, I think I'm completed. If I haven't, I will keep going. But it was like 2 days. I didn't put out a video for 2 days, and I was freaking out. I was like, I got to get a video. It's just the excite because I get excited
Mhm.
when I'm in my creative zone and I can share that creativity with everybody. It's like it's just so exciting to me, and like the ideas just keep rolling in. I don't know exactly how to make these ideas all happen, but I'm going to get there eventually. But yeah, I would just do like once a week even. Like maybe what I think there's a schedule you can even ask ChatGPT say, "Hey, what's the healthiest schedule, if I'm going to be a YouTuber? What's a I'm sorry, what's a healthy mental how do I want to word this? A healthy schedule that's going to be brain friendly,
Mhm.
right? Like it's not going to wear me out. It's not going to make me tired. And
Yeah,
that might be one long form video a week and
yeah.
maybe a couple shorts, or I don't know. There's just everybody's different. Everybody's unique. That's why I like it. I just, as long as you're consistent, YouTube is going to reward you and they're going to find an audience for you. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if there's maybe once a week I think once a week can still be considered consistent to the algorithms. I'm pretty sure as long as you're active on the platform with once a week. um yeah, I don't know, it's hard to say, but I think I'm still experimenting with things right now. I'm
Mhm.
experimenting with all this stuff, and I'm looking at the analytics. I'm seeing what's working. I think one thing that you'll find eventually you're going to find out is one of your videos is going to do well, and then you're going to put out another couple videos and those videos aren't going to do well, and you're going to be like,
Yeah.
well, what happened?
Even if you
What
feel
happened?
like yourself, there are better videos that you're like, "Huh?
but it's okay. You just
Yeah,
got to be like, and I've kind of like, I see what, because I've heard that that's happened. I've heard like the algorithm will take one of your videos and run with it, and then it'll get views, it'll get traction, and then those, you'll get new subscribers even, but it doesn't translate to people watching your new videos. So you're like,
yeah,
you just have to kind of treat every video that nobody's going to see it. I
yeah,
almost have that mindset of nobody's going to see my videos, and that's like,
yes,
and
yes,
then somebody is going to see it though, unfortunately or
and
fortunately, depending on how you look at
that would be especially important too for your first live, because one of the biggest fears is I'm going to go live and nobody's going to show up. Nobody's going to watch. Right? That's a very natural big fear.
it.
At the end of the day, you kind of have to get over that and say, I don't care if nobody watches or ever watches.
And
I'm
nobody did.
show up and
I
I'm
remember my
going to do
first
this.
live 9 weeks
Yes.
ago. Nobody did. Nobody was
Yeah.
watching. It's like, but the algorithms were watching.
Mhm.
Google and YouTube are watching. Trust me, they're watching.
Mhm.
Somebody's watching.
Mhm.
It may not be a somebody's watching. So it actually was like a little stepping stone. So like that was my first live. Then I did another live. Then I did another live, and it's like these stepping stones. And now all of a sudden, like my lives are getting views. My lives are getting
Yeah.
likes. They are getting people coming in and saying, "Hey, how's it going?" Subscribers. Like it's just you have to build. It's like building a house is building anything. You're building your channel, and your first content doesn't is not going to be the best. I mean, I know that's probably one of my fears. Is I was like, I want to put out awesome videos every time. Every piece of content that I make, I want it to be the best content ever. And it's like that's great, but you'll get there. You're gonna keep learning as long as you're open to learning and open to,
Yeah.
because I'm gonna master this editing program, this software. I know I'm going to, because I'm going to. So, and once I do, my videos are going to increase in quality. I'm going to continue studying other videos that I'm into across different niches that I'm into, their techniques, and just kind of studying everything around you, and you'll get better.
Yeah. And there's
Sorry if
this
I went off subject. I started
no, there's
rambling.
this fine line because you brought up something I think is really or sparked something in me that's really important. And again, there's differing opinions in the business world out there about this, but you do want to look at what other people are doing, but
Hmm.
at the same time, you want to have some boundaries with that because you
Hmm.
don't want to slip into imposter syndrome. Like, for example, I
Good.
want to see what the leading tarot YouTubers out there are doing. I'm subscribed to a couple of them, I've watched a few of them grow and everything like that. Okay, at the same time, while I can find inspiration and, it kind of gets my own inner muse excited about it, I don't want to go in as a brand new YouTuber and compare myself to that person who already has hundreds of thousands of views because they've been doing it for 5, 6 years. They've been ingrained in YouTube, even when the algorithms were different, the rules around the algorithms were different. So it kind of becomes, it can become a bit of a kind of a icky feeling, I guess I'll say, and that's when you get into that imposter syndrome. Who am I? They're so successful, I couldn't have, and it kind of puts you in this icky feeling kind of place. The most important things, and we're gonna start wrapping it up here. We've been going. I knew we were gonna
I
talk
didn't know it
a lot
was going to
longer.
go this long, babe. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
You're like, "Is this only 10 minutes?" I'm like, "No, we're gonna get in the flow because we have a lot to say about it. Because our conversations, we talk about this stuff all the time." And I have some really cool, oracle cards here that I wanna share that have inspiration on them about being a content creator. I think and you've already touched on a few of these points, which is really, really interesting. But you don't wanna get in the point where you can't be yourself or you're feeling pressure to be someone else. So that's that fine line where you have to use your discernment on that. And I just encourage anybody new, yeah, you want to see what other people are doing and you want to get inspirations. You want to see how you can make it yours and have your own style and all that. But you also don't want to obsess over it or over compare yourself to, someone else because there's a lot of things that change. these platforms are changing their algorithms all the time, and you just, once you're in, you start to see how you have to keep up with it, and they're always giving you new news. Here's what YouTube's doing now, YouTube creator community, here's what. Then we're focusing, it used to be there's no shorts on YouTube, right? So then YouTube had shorts, and there were a lot of people doing long forms, especially tarot readings, doing long form tarot readings, and they're like, now I have to figure out how to do these shorts. My channel is stalled, and now a lot of us were used to doing shorts. We're just like, we do shorts, we do long, but now it's lives, and so it changes all the time. Yeah. So what do you think about being willing to change with it, right? The flexibility.
Oh, yeah, just continuing to monitor what they're doing. If they do any updates, like right now, they're offering you to test these features out. Definitely take advantage of that. If you have, that's why I need to get on podcasts because I feel like that's an opportunity. Podcasts are on YouTube Music,
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
that even gives you another
Outlet.
possible. They can find you there,
Hmm.
which is just incredible to think about. So they can find you on YouTube. They'll eventually find you on Google search,
Yeah.
and then they're going to find you on YouTube Music. That's it's just there's just so many opportunities, and
Yeah.
I'm going to be changing with the times as they change.
Mhm.
So I definitely just want to use all the features they have to, if you can. Like I
Yeah.
said, if the videos, shorts, lives, create playlists of videos that are similar to each other and posts. Right now, that's all I have. I'm going to get the podcast going, but use every feature that they have available
Mhm.
because they're going to everything you do on there. They're going to help. They're going to use that for
And
their
oh, yeah.
own pleasure and for other people to find your people because that's kind of their goal is they want to keep people on YouTube. They want
Yeah.
people to keep watching YouTube, right? They just want to keep
Oh,
watching. Don't leave the platform. So if you're keeping people on YouTube, that's all you need to do. Just
yeah.
keep, and that's why people sometimes they do crazy things, or sometimes they. I think if you're just being yourself and you're presenting something valuable, even if it's the same thing that somebody else is presenting, like you said, not don't fall into that imposter syndrome where you want to be just like somebody else because then you're just going to get lost. You're going to get your video is going
Beat
to be
yourself
lost
up
and
if you
buried in a.
don't meet that expectation. Yeah, you got to kind of like, you are becoming your own best version, right? So it's like you have to, at the end of the day, you are your own competition, and you're the person you have to get over in order to do the stuff. Yeah, that was that.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And don't let yourself get down just because you see other people succeeding. It's so easy to fall into that trap. Guilty. Guilty.
And yeah, it's just so fun. I love YouTube because like I can, even if you're doing vlogs, there's a place for that.
Hmm.
There's an audience for vlogs, like
Hmm.
just saying how your day is and like saying, hey, what's up YouTube? This is what I did today. I mean, I'm gonna make a video coming up this week about a guy that's been doing vlogs for 15 years every day.
Yeah.
Every day, guys. He's been doing a vlog every day for 15 years. Now he's not all he's these vlogs aren't the most quality videos. He's just doing a little like he's basically I don't know if he uses it as a therapy session or what for 5 minutes, but he's been doing it for 15 years. I mean,
Yeah.
so and
Yeah.
he has like 7,000 subscribers. He has an audience. So it's
Mhm.
like you wouldn't even think of it. There's stuff on here I'm like people will watch anything. So even if you think nobody likes you or nobody, you know, that's
Yeah.
why the other platforms kind of were. I don't like those as much because I feel like I don't know. I can't explain it. Like if I put something on those platforms, I don't feel like they're taking my content and they're pushing it out to people. I feel like YouTube and Google are pushing my content out to people, no
Mhm.
matter what it is, even if it's a post or
Yeah.
anything. Because like I said, you get impressions off of just putting a meme on your YouTube channel
Hmm.
page. So um,
Yeah, but I think your point is whatever you have to offer, offer it,
yes, like I'm not going to be
If you
doing
will.
videos about sports statistics. You're not going to find me any videos on my channel about that. Don't try to do videos about stuff that you don't know anything about.
Mhm.
Don't, just
Right.
you got to be good at something. Somebody's good at something. You might just be good at talking. So just talk.
For sure. So, how, before I let you drop off, how do people find your YouTube channel? I'm going to link it in the description below.
My YouTube channel is just my name, Jason Werline. That's JasonWerline. It's a
Hmm.
little bit different. It's German, strong German, Native American.
Yes.
I'm just joking, but
Well,
no, check out a couple of my videos. I actually just had a video that went live a couple
mhm.
minutes ago. YouTube finds my doppelganger. I'm sorry, ChatGPT finds my YouTube doppelganger along with celebrity doppelgangers. Kind of a fun video I threw together, but hope to see you guys over there. Take care. Thank you, Stephanie.
Yes. Do you see a button where you can leave the chat?
Yes, ma'am. Let me see.
The rest of
You
you
guys.
stay with me. I'm going to close this off with some inspiration. All right. All right. So, for those of you who've been thinking about doing content, or you just have that inspiring muse within you that wants to do something, I pulled 3 cards from this relationships oracle deck that I had, because we were doing a couple session today showing you what it's like to have two different people, different personalities, different interests, niche, no niche, under the same roof, right? Doing this. And these cards, I think, kind of sum up what is most important. And the first one is expression. And it says the frequency of expression supports our ability to bring out our true essence through many different forms of communication. And it's got this beautiful, colorful picture here, expression. And so, whether you're a YouTuber or an aspiring YouTuber, or you're thinking about it, it's important for you to be able to express yourself. Even if you're a more private person, I'm a more private person in general, generally speaking, but I think you will find that people are more relatable to you than you could imagine. We are more connected than we realize. And so being able to express yourself is so, so important, and who you are truly, right? The real you. Make sure you have fun doing it. I pulled this joy card. The energy of joy activates our feelings of happiness and well being and supports a high vibrational frequency in our being. Joy, let it unfold. This is about you blooming and blossoming into another version of yourself. You're evolving, you're growing, you're expanding. Be able to embrace joy. Sometimes I think our culture and society has this war on happy people and joyful people. And there's just so much drama and division, and like, oh, we want to see all the bad stuff all the time. And we know what if we turn on the TV, what we normally see. So this is something you have to create from the inside out. You have to go with what makes you joyful. And of course, that vibration is going to shine through to other people. If you're a tarot reader and you enjoy doing the readings and you're getting into the energies and you're all passionate about it, that's going to shine through. But if you're trying to do like Jason's saying, I would never do sports statistics because I don't really get excited about it. So pick the things that you're excited about and let your happiness and excitement shine through. And then lastly, I think this is one of the highest vibrational frequencies, authenticity. So you can still be authentic and utilize the tools that are out there, chat gpt and all of that. The energy of authenticity supports our choice to be genuine and truthful in all aspects of our lives, with others as well as with ourselves. And so authenticity, what a beautiful picture, what a beautiful vibration, and just the peace that you get to feel inside, and the self, just feeling good about yourself, feeling proud of yourself for overcoming a hurdle. And expression, joy, and authenticity is a nice ingredients list. So, lining those things up for yourself, I think, are really, really important. I have so enjoyed having you all here. Thank you so much. Some of you stuck around. And it was so fun. I love testing this feature, and I hope YouTube does a lot more of this. I think it's very connecting and I like it, and it's not too hard either. Sometimes if it's too hard and you got to plan all this stuff, it's like a little overwhelming, but it's actually a really easy feature to use and I'm really liking it. So I'm happy to give them feedback and test it for them. I am going to still be releasing my May monthlies for those of you who are subscribed and enjoying the tarot readings. Those are still coming out, so watch for those to be released. And I'm not sure what's next. I'm waiting to be inspired by my next thing, but I will be on Frequency Friday this upcoming Friday. It's a live hangout at 10 a.m. Central, so I hope to see you all there. Thank you so much for joining, y'all. Have a good day. Bye.